What happened to my office, man? I swear, who's been here, man? This is too much, man. Who's been here? Why is blue on the fucking floor? Where's my posters, man? Oh, come on, mental health is so important. And all these Halloween freaks come along and take them down. And why is my chair so low? I feel like a fucking midget. There we go, back to normal. There we go, I'm back, guys. Happy Halloween! I hope we're all celebrating the month of spookiness. I don't even know if you can hear me. 1 second. I thought today I would kind of try and make this video a bit spooky. I don't know if it worked or not. I don't know what I'm going to do currently to the edit at the beginning. But I hope you enjoyed the beginning. Today we're going to look at something which I don't like calling creepy, but a lot of people are going to consider as creepy. Yes, today we are looking at the term psychopath. Should people be defined as a psychopath? Is being a psychopath a real thing? And what are the signs and traits of it if it is real? Now, don't get me wrong, I can act really weird and creepy and freak all you guys out whenever I want, but that doesn't mean I'm a psychopath, okay? You know, I can go up and down in my chair all I want, I can really freak you guys out, but again, that doesn't mean I'm a psychopath. So what is being a psychopath really? Let's find out.
I can see my fingers.
Now I have one question for you fellas. First off, are you really, quote unquote, normal? Is there such thing as being a normal human being? You know, what is really normal? You know, do I have to have legs to be normal? Do I need arms? Do I need a face? Do I need to have certain personalities to be normal? You know, I don't know what normal is. Hey, the little freaks that I hang on my background for Halloween. What do you think? That they said no, that they don't know what normal is, okay? The thing is, the word normal, or what a normal human being is, or what a classified, stable human being really is, has just been made up by culture. It's whatever every other person does. And if you don't fit in to what everyone else does, you're not really considered normal. Now, the effects of not calling someone normal, or saying they're a freak or a weirdo, or, as in today's video, a psychopath, is probably really rude. And I don't think anyone wants to be called them words, or unless you're having a joke with your mates. But as it's Halloween, as everyone starts scaring everyone, I mean, not a lot of that's going to be happening with COVID around. I think the biggest, scariest thing is COVID. Maybe COVID will mutate and just start killing everyone this Sunday. Hope you're still alive, people. Good luck. But in the real world, people are going to be scaring people. And a lot of the time during Halloween, people get taken the mick out of for mental health. They get called freaks, they get called weirdos. I've even had someone tell me that I'm the reason Halloween exists. I'm glad I invented Halloween. Pretty cool thing. And I just don't agree with any of it. You know, I hate the idea that people get defined by mental health. Even the fact that we have to classify these things, I don't like. And using that name regularly with someone doesn't really help them. But especially if you are doctorally called a psychopath, it's not nice. And I get why they're called psychopaths, and if you're generally to the point where you can't be in public kind of mental health disorder, then yes, you probably should have that classification. But we call people psychopaths who are not really psychopaths. There's a big difference between having an extreme personality and being a psychopath. You have to go to some extreme testing and extreme lengths to even be defined doctorally as a psychopath. And there's not many of them on this earth. Well, according to statistics. How many of them just leak in our community? I don't know. I could have been talking to one at the local chip shop yesterday. Who would have known? Now, I'm not saying in this video that psychopaths don't exist. As I clearly just stated, they definitely do wander in our community. But they're not as... most of them are not as severe and as extensive as movies, the media, and kind of everyone else outside of, you know, government defines them to be. You know, movies make psychopaths look like these freaks who run around with, like, chainsaws and try and cut off everyone's heads. And they make them look really obvious. And they're like, yeah, it'll be really clear if you ever met a psychopath. In reality, they're probably one of the most secretive, one of the most deadly people on this planet. And the chances are, if you were talking to one, you wouldn't even know it. Some psychopaths don't even know they're psychopaths themselves. Most of them just don't. You know, a psychopath is not going to be like, yes, I'm a psychopath. I'm proud to be a psychopath. Yes, that's what I want for my birthday. And the real reason psychopaths most of the time are removed from society, or in professional terms, sections, is not because they went around with a chainsaw killing everyone, or they started killing all their wives. A lot of the time it was for their own safety. These people are incapable of making their own life decisions without it leading them to death. A lot of the time they make decisions that to us would just seem like an absolute horror show. They would go jump off a mountain and not think less of it. They would go up to their wife, punch them around the head, not think much of it. Because their first trait as a psychopath is being emotionless. They walk down the street and really do generally, not even just having a big ego, but generally think that they rule the world. They think that everyone around them is either going to fight them or is so small and insignificant that they could beat them up. It doesn't matter if I've got muscles out here, a psychopath probably still thinks you're weak. A psychopath is not gonna pick up on your emotions. He's not gonna know how you feel. He could call you a bunch of rude words, words that in society today are completely thrown against, and not think much of it. He doesn't care how you feel. He will say these things and be like, yes, that's perfectly normal. A lot of these people don't know how to pick up on culture. They don't understand how other people act and why they act in a certain way. They have this driven sense of self that what they do is correct and everything else doesn't make any sense. Doctors and psychologists have studied this for years, and even some of them don't know how to dig into a psychopath's brain because it is so complex. And getting them on an exam table to examine their brain is pretty difficult, as you can probably imagine. It's not just that. These people are overly intelligent. Their IQs are through the roof. These people analyse every piece of information. Things that you haven't even thought about. They're looking at your shoes, they're looking at the colour of your hair, and everything they look at means something. They might decide to kill you just because you've got a wonky finger, or you've got a certain colour hair. They might start to add up things around you that make you look small and weak, and because you look small and weak, decide to pick on you. They'll look at a door handle and won't just see it as a door handle, they'll see it as an objective weapon. Their IQs, again, are through the roof. They will manipulate you, throw your brain sideways. Chances are, if you're interacting with one, you're not even going to know you're interacting with it, because you're being manipulated. You're being turned around corners, twisted, made to do things that 24 hours ago, you didn't want to do. That is the scary part, and that's why they're sectioned. Not because they're running around with chainsaws trying to kill people. But to even get to the point where you're classified as a psychopath, it takes many moons of testing. It takes referrals, and the chances are most of these people don't even get to the stage where they are diagnosed as a psychopath and they get sectioned. Most of these people get away with it. It's not an obvious disorder. Again, it's secretive. It's a personality disorder. And the thing is, what most people don't realise is every single one of us has a piece of psychopathity within us. The problem is with psychopaths is their personalities are so extreme and so muddled that their own brain can't configure it, which causes the overintelligence and the massive amount of non-emotions. The things you think about on a daily basis, a psychopath thinks about 10 times over. The things you think about on a daily basis, to a psychopath, are like hell. They're like, what the frick, this makes no sense to me. 2 plus 2 doesn't really mean 2 plus 2. 2 plus 2 means a sword and a gun, and I'm gonna kill people. A sign on a door that says don't come in, to a psychopath might mean welcome to hell, and you wouldn't know less about it. They feel like to get normal human being things, even such thing as get a drink, they need to take advantage of the people around them just to get there. It's not a simple task. Now, I'm pointing all these things out, not to kind of point out psychopaths in your life. I don't want you going around the street and being like, oh, Jimmy's a psychopath, Sarah's a psychopath, Bobby down the road's a psychopath. But please don't start doing that. The reason I'm pointing these things out is because a lot of the time, this term psychopath is taken so out of context. A lot of people with generalised anxiety disorders such as depression, anxiety, bipolar disorder, schizophrenia, which is the closest, are identified as psychopaths, made to feel small and insignificant because they have certain characteristics. By calling someone a psychopath, you're basically saying, yo, you don't deserve on this earth, you need to be sectioned and sent somewhere. Which for a person who's not psychopathic is gonna make them emotional. On a daily basis, I come across people with mental health issues. I see people do things that I am like, wow, that's new. But that doesn't mean I think to myself, yo, you're a psychopath, bruv. You ate that pizza a bit weirdly. Now you're a psychopath. Doesn't mean that. And before you go and call someone a psychopath, please think of this. We all have some form of psychopathy within us. The thing is, our psychopathy is so low to the point where it's not obvious and we don't even notice it. Again, we all have personalities, but some of us are just a little bit less extreme with them and we know how to control them. Psychopaths, on the other hand, don't know how to do this. And there is treatments. You know, when people get sectioned, I mean, they're not treated great, to be fair, but they are given treatment. They're given places to stay, and they're kept in secure locations, and doctors and nurses and trained professionals try and make sure that these people get the best life possible without hurting others. The point I'm trying to get across here is just because it's Halloween, a season to be happy, jolly, scare your mates, freak people out a bit, you know, maybe play a prank on a few people, doesn't mean you can go around calling people psychopaths, because apparently that's what represented by Halloween nowadays. I see so many scary movies and movies that are trying to create this Halloween theme, using the word psychopath to scare people. What they don't realise is that this is a real disorder. There are people diagnosed and clinically have psychopathy. Or there's another professional name for it. So, my main message for today is have a good Halloween. Enjoy it. But please be careful with what you say to people and what you define as scary. Because there's going to be people more than ever this Halloween who are generally going to be going through real scary mental health issues that if you go around calling them crazy for, it's not going to end well. Just because your personality is a tiny bit different from everyone else, or you act a tiny bit differently because of your genetics, doesn't mean you're a psychopath. Neither does it mean you deserve to be sectioned and locked away. Support does not mean you're crazy. Going through things does not mean you're crazy. We are all extremely different and require different emotional and physical support to get through life. Just because I have anxiety doesn't mean I'm a nutter. So again, happy Halloween, go out there and enjoy it, but remember that there's people out there who would rather not right now. Please take into consideration all these things, because the term psychopath is what some people really do suffer with, and not just a scary word used to deserve this freak. Happy Halloween, fellas.